Morning everybody, Patrick here from Mapp Digital. We're going to give everyone a couple of minutes before we get started, but thanks for joining so far. There's probably enough time to grab a quick tea or coffee, and we'll give everyone till about 10:05. Thanks. Morning everybody, I can see there's a few more attendees. We're going to give everyone a couple more minutes before we get started, but it's worth the wait. We've got some cool stuff coming up today, so thanks for those that have joined so far. Morning everybody, me again. A couple more minutes and we'll get this webinar started. For those that have just joined, we are going to be doing a session on insight-led marketing and marketing to parents. So a couple more minutes and Aria and I will get going. Thanks. Okay, we're about to get started now. I'm Patrick, the commercial lead here at Mapp Digital. I've worked here for about 15 years now. I'm the father of 3, so I'm excited about hearing how we should potentially be marketing to parents. We've got some great customers to reference, the likes of Ella's Kitchen, the Early Learning Centre, the Entertainer, Prenatal in Italy. So hopefully what we share today is going to be useful and helpful to you guys. We know everyone is suffering from webinar fatigue, so we have changed things up a little bit here at Mapp Digital. Rather than running an hour and a half session, they're quick, snappy, 30 minutes, some cool content at the beginning delivered by Aria, and at the end, a little carrot that makes it worthwhile staying is we run a small quiz. That small quiz is cool, interactive, and the winner has a chance of selecting one of a number of different prizes. Last time out, I think the person won some AirPods, so it was definitely worth sticking around for. So I guess over to you now, Aria. Oh, one thing before Aria starts, sorry. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them into the chat, and if we have time, we will answer them. If not, we'll follow up with those answers in email. Thanks.
Thank you, Pat, for that lovely introduction. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Good morning, good morning. I hope everyone's got a coffee and they're ready to join us today. It's just a bit of an introduction. My name's Aria. I'm a solutions consultant here at Mapp in the UK, and I work alongside Pat here. And what we basically do, or what I basically do, my role is to come to you guys with lots of solutions for all of the marketing and business and analytics problems that you guys are going through. So a very aptly named title. And today I'm just here to give you guys a very quick talk about marketing to parents. And I wasn't really too sure what the best way to start these webinars are. Sometimes I get a bit like lost. There's so many different ways to start it. I thought really for this one, the best thing that I wanted to do was to start by taking a look at what's going on at the news at the moment. So I found these couple of headlines. First up, we have this. I saw this and I thought, well, I guess that makes sense, you know? This is the number of antenatal bookings appointments in the fourth quarter of 2020. It's the highest it has been for 5 years. So this kind of made sense to me. I was like, well, a lot of people I know who, have been in quite fortunate positions have been a plan for pregnancies and so on during lockdown. So it makes sense that, the number of people having children at the moment is a bit higher than it has been for some time. I can kind of see that. The other one I saw was this, the concept that's research being done and finding that new and expectant mothers are more anxious due to COVID. And again, I thought this makes a lot of sense too. And research by this charity also found that myths relating to pregnant women and pregnancy were still very much so circulating around. And I thought this is a really apt one. So two things we've learned is that there's a bit of an influx of new parents joining the market and so on. And depending on obviously where you are in this industry, so it's going to hit you either a bit sooner or a little bit later down the line. And the other thing to be aware of with this one, and this is something we'll be conscious of as we're going through this, is that brands really need to be careful with the information that they provide to an audience that is ever seeking more education as we're going through this. So with this in mind, the last thing I wanted to show you in terms of news and bits of information like this, we got to start a webinar in the morning with a quick graph. And this is a graph I've used for a couple of these style of webinars now, and I really like it. Basically, what this shows us is the change in the ratio of sales that e-commerce is responsible for in the UK. And that means that customers, as you can see from the graph here, that big spike in internet sales at the beginning of lockdown, that first one, customers are now shopping in ways they've never shopped before. Click and collect, app usage, the whole 9 yards. And it's been fluctuating a lot, obviously depending on seasonal trends a little bit within there. And as you can see, it's starting to drop down a little bit now that things are reopening. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to you like it's going to remain at this level for some time. I think it'll continue to drop down a little bit, but it's never really going to be the same level as it was kind of pre-pandemic. This is important for us because customers have completely changed the way that they've been interacting with our brands. It presents a whole new challenge of the customer expectations and that the way that they're shopping and interacting. And for marketers, it really opens up a whole new avenue for you to communicate and engage with your customers. So what does this mean in the world of marketing to parents? And realistically, in a similar fashion for all marketers in 2021, you have the concept that marketers in 2021 are under huge pressure to capitalize on change. This is something we kept being told at the start of the year. And since then, I've kind of actually realized that all the pressure is around just one part of 2021, everything reopening. Here in the UK, that's kind of like, well, was supposed to be last week, a little bit further away, but things are starting to reopen. And this is the moment where marketers are going to be tested, not only because, and I'm sure everybody on this webinar this morning has a boss or a stakeholder expecting them to absolutely make the most of this, but also because your customers are expecting so much of you, not to stress too much pressure on this one. And it's the concept that lockdown has in a way spoiled many customers. They've seen the best of what e-commerce has to offer with brands, absolutely upping their game. And they're so much savvier than they were before the lockdown because they've experienced so much more online activity. Now, the best way to really make sure that you come out on top of all this is by delivering an exceptional customer experience. Now, realistically, why do I say that? Well, the reason is because we teamed up with Forrester earlier in the year to understand exactly what businesses needed to do to excel in the coming years. And one of the main insights I took away from and it's a huge report, or the main insights of many that I took away from it, was that the majority of directors now finally understand the true importance of delivering a great customer experience. By the way, this report is available in full if anybody would like to message us to get a copy afterwards. It's a really good read. Lots of very valuable insight and information within there. Now, in order to do this, in order to provide an exceptional customer experience when it comes to marketing to parents, you need to be looking at data-based decision making and truly understand who your customers are. You cannot make an exceptional experience without knowing who your customers are. I put a lot of emphasis on that. If you're going to take one thing away from this webinar this morning, it is that you need to understand who your customers are. And in order to do that, you need to start looking at data in order to do this at scale. And as soon as I mentioned data, I've worked with a very large number of brands over my time, and I think the one thing is that as soon as I mention data, we always kind of hear these initial same few problems. You know, and a lot of you on this webinar are going to fall into one of these three categories. Some of you are going to say, okay, we've got too much data all over the place, can't make head from tails of it. Maybe you're saying it's too difficult to access the data. So I've seen so many brands I've worked with have got the data, but it's like in a SQL database, and only one person in the company knows how to code SQL to pull out insights. That's a problem. It needs to be more readily available for the rest of the team. And the last one, some of you probably got pre-existing projects stopping you from taking up new ones. So you need this to be sped up. This whole process needs to be a lot more efficient. And what that means, if you are in either of these three categories, is that you're going to end up in situations where when you do make your decisions, they're going to be made on one of these few things. Either they're going to be made on gut feel and politics, because you can't wait for the insights to be retrieved from the data, or you're making your decisions from outdated insights. So you did wait, and that's good of you, but it took too long for the insights to really get out of there. And that's unfortunate, because this is a very fast-paced cycle. You want this to be timely. And the last one, almost the most criminal out of the lot of these for me, this one breaks my heart, is when people are making decisions based on inaccurate or incomplete insights. And that's in situations where all the data is not linked together. It could be that you have teams working in silos, could be that you have some teams who've got their own databases and so on. This is a really dangerous one. So how do we actually solve these problems? How do we start to think about data analytics, not just for the sake of data analytics, but actually for tangible, actionable marketing? Well, the industry experts recommend implementing what's known as a CDP. And just, I guess, so everyone's on the same page on this one, a CDP is a customer data platform. Essentially, as the name implies, it's a platform that's designed to manage your customer data and link it all together. This is what we provide here at Mapp. And at its core, that's all a CDP is, just one location to pull together all this data, getting a single view of all your customers. Where we take it that step further here, and I highly recommend that if and when you come to onboard a CDP, you absolutely make sure it's able to do these two things. First of all, you need to make sure that all the data in there can be easily analyzed by anyone in the business. No coding skills required. So for example, here at Mapp, we provide highly effective dashboards for our customers tailored to their specific industry. So you guys will get exact ones for your marketing to parents industry and the various e-com retail businesses that you're in. And it just means that anyone can dive in and start to easily pull insights out of this, rather than just staring and looking at data. And the second part is, and this is really important, you need to be able to use all of those insights from the data to power your marketing campaigns. And that sounds simple, because a lot of platforms will give you the ability to say, okay, well, here's your insights, go ahead and export it. But then you've got to export it from one platform, download it, save it in your computer, upload it to another platform, wait for it to match. And this is a very timely process, and it's not automated. So critically, we provide native integration to push out directly from analytics over to activation, something really important to look out for. And what you get when you have the CDP in place is you can start thinking about your marketing strategy and how you want to communicate and engage with your customers. And it all starts right at the beginning when it comes to data collection. Now, when it comes to marketing to parents, I think the most interesting data to look at is zero-party data. And again, just so everyone's on the same page, we all know that first-party data is that which you collect about your customers that you own. Zero-party data is even more interesting to me. This is data that customers are openly giving you. They're literally telling you. So this is a perfect way to finally capture and use the customer voice in a truly primitive yet incredibly advanced way. And in the world of marketing to parents, oftentimes it's critical to collect data that's actually about the child instead. And obviously, this is territory that needs to be navigated carefully. So today we're taking a look at how the entertainer do this in the UK. They're actually one of our clients that joined us at the beginning of last year, and they're a great example of a company that totally gets true value of database insight-led marketing. It makes me very proud to have them with us here today. So here's 3 golden rules to follow when collecting zero-party data from parents. The first one is make sure that parents know what the value is. And if we take a look at Jack's Birthday Club here from the entertainer, they're really clear on telling you what you're going to get in return for parting with this data and information. And I've written here, don't be afraid to be explicit of what they get in return, exactly as the entertainer have done here. They've really outlined what you're going to get if you part with this data. And I heard one of my colleagues told the story kind of like, if someone came up to me in the street and was like, hey, when's your kid's birthday? It's a bit of a strange one. You're going to say no. But if they came up to you and like, hey, is it your kid's birthday today? We're giving away free cookies or free balloons. Absolutely. You can part with that data because you understand the value of it. You understand why they are wanting this data. Next one is collect only the data that you need, not just for GDPR reasons, but also because it makes it very easy for the customer, and you don't need much when it comes to marketing to parents. With only a few key details, you're going to be able to create rich automated journeys, because we're also going to be able to overlay web behavior data, but also just these data points are so powerful when it comes to marketing to kids. So you can see here with Jack's Birthday Club, they're asking for child name and date of birth. These 2 are mandatory. And just from these 2 alone, so much personalization can be done. So many automated campaigns can be set up around this. Next one they've got about boy or girl, it's good to see that they haven't put this as mandatory. It's something to bear in mind. A lot of brands I know sometimes erring away from gender-based marketing, so this is one to bear in mind as well. But the last one here of the relationship, this is a really, really useful bit of information. So being able to identify what that relationship is to that child is going to be so important for the marketing messages and personalization. As a quick example, one brand I shopped with many years ago, I can't remember who it was, emailed me after I purchased something for my friend's new baby, and they basically emailed me and straight up asked me, they're like, are you the partner? Are you the parent? Are you a friend? Are you a relative? And this just meant that they were being able to then tailor the communication off the back of that. And the last one, give parents full control of their data. So this is where you basically want to be able to ensure that if people are parting with this data, that they can come in and edit it or remove it or delete it, so on, at any point really easily. I've put bonus points for providing a control center. A lot of the brands that I've seen work with this, and we can give you the technology to do this as well when you set this up for you. It basically, you just want to give the option for parents to come into here at any point and feel safe and secure knowing that they can remove their data from you. It's not one that's going to necessarily benefit you from a marketing point of view, but it is going to be really useful in creating actually brand resonance and creating trust in these brands. So has that long-term value within there too. Now, when you get all this together, you're going to be able to start leveraging tools such as advanced AI-driven segmentation. And artificial intelligence, this is Mapp Cloud's brain. Our advanced AI can sort through massive amounts of data and make sense of it for you. That means guesswork is out, database insights and action plans are in, and most importantly, they're made easy. That's the thing to bear in mind. And when your data is brought together in the right place, there's a lot of stuff that AI-driven segmentation can do for you. First of all, this is my favorite features of Mapp Intelligence, actually. You'll be able to easily make decisions based on parent cohorts. And this is where we automatically group up similar types of customers together. It's like 2 quick examples. These are simple yet powerful examples of this would be being able to differentiate between the parents who are always using voucher codes for things. They potentially are able to shop around, they're quite price sensitive. And then on the inverse, there are parents who maybe are not so price sensitive and are converting all the time without that voucher. Maybe they're always very time sensitive. They need to be able to get things tomorrow, and the price isn't so much of an issue. And using this information in your email marketing means you can start applying automatic segments that will hide or show voucher codes and so on, and be able to provide different communications within the same email based on these different type of parents segments that we have right here. Another example is predicting future customer behavior. So you can use AI to calculate likely actions for parents. I gotta say, I think our AI loves parents because it puts you on relatively predictable paths, especially with that data point of the date of birth and birthday and so on. It really allows you to kind of follow this journey through automatically. And then the last point here is understanding what the next best action is. So somebody asked me before this webinar whether a good example of marketing to parents would be blasting out on every communication channel possible. And at first I wanted to reply, I was like, yeah, this makes sense. You know, parents are very time poor, so you got to just get out to them everything. And I was like, when I thought about it more, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. The same rules of marketing and customer engagement still apply here. You need to be able to make sure that you don't bombard your customers. So you still have to be selective, make sure you understand the best channel. Platforms like ours will basically provide you AI that automatically chooses the next best channel as well, and create automated journeys that allow you to make sure you're always targeting on the right channel at the right time. Now, another great example of all of this data usage lies in hyper-personal engagement. So you set up all these segments, you can start to think about how we use it with hyper-personal engagement. This takes so many forms. I almost didn't even know where to begin with this. My colleague Josh sent me these two examples he has from Hip Organic, and I love these programs. They've taken such a simple data point, the baby's due date and the birthday and so on, and made an excellent campaign out of just one simple date. There's so much personalization to do with programs like this, so where the whole email is being personalized from the subject line, the hero image, the hero copy, a bunch of product recommendation blocks, and even going as far as specific articles as well. And what's best is with Mapp Cloud, we can even recommend specific articles in here based on what the information the parents have been looking at on your website. So being able to take that web behavior in here is really useful. And another nice touch is that you can even use our personalization engine to dynamically place the child's name into the image. This is a great one if you want to show off personalized products. And all this may seem really surface level, but personalization is absolutely key when it comes to delivering an exceptional experience. You want to show your customer that you know them, and you're not just providing a generic mass sent out communication, but actually taking the valuable data that they gave you and putting it to good use. And once you've got this set up as well, the final stage of all of this is stringing it all together. So you've got your zero-party data, you've got your advanced AI segments, you've got some great hyper-personal engagement examples. Let's think about how we can pull that together, looking at full customer lifestyle marketing. Now, with anyone shopping for kids, it's important to know there's a couple of different ways to look at the marketing here. The first is by building great in-the-moment based marketing. Now, this comes from the help of easily being able to use your web behavior of each parent to understand exactly what they're in the moment for. This is stuff that we do here at Mapp all the time. It's targeting them with automated, fully responsive, triggered communication off the back of looking at something. So you need to know, okay, this parent's in the moment for this product. Let's follow them up pretty quickly with this type of email. Then we need to think about campaigns that are going to target parents at key life cycle stages. Now, with parents and children, we've got this excellent data point at the child's age that allows us to understand and preempt what's going to be needed and promote that. This is a great way to show the parents that you as a brand know exactly what they need. And remember that if you've established the relationship with the child, the relationship to the child rather, a great example of marketing here will be knowing that the parents are going to be shopping for stuff throughout the year for their kid, but maybe friends and family may only be buying at Christmas, birthdays, etc. A bit like what that brand did with me a few years ago. Now, lastly, it's about driving investment where it's needed. And this comes from being able to analyze which of these key life cycle stages bring the most value. It could be specific parts of the parent's life cycle that are needed to be to really ensure that they stay with you. And importantly, subsequent purchases as well need to be made with your company. So being able to drive investment at these different stages is really critical within here. Now, final slide from me is understanding what is the reward. Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. So much research with Forrester and other companies have shown that insights-driven businesses will grow so much faster. We're seeing about 7 to 10 times faster than the global economy. So being able to leverage all of this is going to ensure that you stay ahead of your competitors and you're able to grow in the years to come. That's everything from me. The only other thing I had to say was reminding that you guys that the next webinar that we have coming up is in partnership with our partner Adici. It's going to be on June the 30th. I really recommend that you guys signing up to that one. It's looking at basically how brands can survive and adapt in this cookieless world. Really good one to explore. Adici, we do a lot of work with them. They're a great partner when it comes to making really personal, fun games and engagement activities that are just fantastic when it comes to data marketing. So that's everything from me. Pat, I'm going to go ahead and start pulling up that quiz if you want to get ready too.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thank you, Aria. Some great insightful topics covered there and some real life examples of what we're doing here at Mapp. So Certainly, if anyone has any questions, drop them over. There's been a few in the chat, which we probably don't have time for right now because we want to get to the quiz, but we'll follow up with you all individually. If when we do that, you have any others, let us know. We've got some great case studies with Prenatal and the Entertainer here in the UK. So if you want to know more, then certainly let us know. But let's get this quiz started, Aria.
Excellent. So for everyone who's on the call, if you could just go ahead on your phone, whatever you want, navigate to kahoot.it. The game pin's going to show up here very shortly. I'll turn off this annoying music. And over to MC Pat once we get all of the players joined in within here.
No problem. So you just have to fill in that code, guys, and you'll be entered into the competition/quiz. The idea is to not just get the answer right, but get it right in the quickest possible time, and that's how you get the points, and points mean prizes.
Pat, have you been watching game shows in preparation for this moment?
Oh, all day.
All right, we've got our first players coming in here.
Okay, cool. We'll give people a couple more minutes to enter.
Oh, we actually have Alana here from the Early Learning Center as well. Shout out. Sorry, apologies. I've used your brand for so many references here. I just love everything that's being done by the Entertainer. And good to see Mark as well, joining from Mapp.
Mark, you will be exempt from winning the prize.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
A couple more minutes just to let a few more people enter the competition. Donuts has just entered.
got some great names here. All right, should we start?
Let's get going. Remember, quickest and correct. Good luck, everyone. Simple one to start with.
Very, very, very easy one to start with. We should say that the last time Haley, our marketing manager who built this quiz, did an absolutely brutal quiz. It was great to see really hard questions in here. So we've got a nice easy one to start this time.
A couple of people think they might win this. Okay, this is where it starts, guys. How much is the baby and kids market worth globally?
Pal, what do you think? What's your guess here?
I couldn't possibly answer. I actually know the answer to this one. We never know whether to talk while you're answering these, guys, because we could probably find it quite annoying, but hopefully plenty of right answers. But 4 people have gone for 158 billion.
That's really good. Looks like the people who got on today's call actually know their stuff, which is nice to see.
Which of these kids-focused brands work with Mapp? We've given you some examples today. Ella's Kitchen, The Entertainer, Argos, or all of the above. I love that meme, Aria, that little boy with the fist.
Why do I feel like you have this on the back of your car, Pat? I can just imagine it. I can see the sticker right now. Good to see that people today have done their research on Mapp, clearly. Who's in the lead? Mark, we're going to have to ask you to turn it down a little bit. It can't be having that. Or oh, this is an interesting one.
How many products were submitted to the Made for Mums Awards in 2021?
These are a bit nicer increments than what we've seen Haley do on some of the other games. You know, previously she might have done 1000, 1001, 1003. So it's good to see this as well. She's taking it easy on you guys today.
We do request the feedback after this call. It'd be great to hear what people think of this quiz and whether it's a nice ending.
Yeah, that's a good point. We basically have a little survey that we're going to be sending out afterwards towards this, guys.
Only 2 people got that one right. This could change everything.
Hang on. We have to, Fiona's come back in the lead now. This is good. This is good. Mark, I hope you deliberately threw that one if you knew the answer.
Easy one for you guys, hopefully. True or false? Babies are born without kneecaps.
I don't see how this is easy. This is. I'm really not too sure what the answer is. This one, Pat.
I think the picture's a giveaway.
You've got a good point there. I'll tell you that.
True.
Not so easy, isn't it? It could be a trick question. So who's coming up here? All right, TK's moved up a few. Fiona's still in the lead.
On average, how many nappies do babies go through in their first year? It is a hell of a lot, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I had a horrible conversation with my partner where I naively thought that babies may go, once or twice a day. Turns out it's a lot more than that.
Heck of a lot more.
Can't wait. Ah, nice. Majority of people got that one right, or 2 people did. That's great to see. Okay, cool. Fiona's still taking the lead here.
Fiona's quite the baby expert. What's the best-selling toy of all time? Oh, wow, cool. Wow, Tamagotchis. I remember those.
That's a tricky one. That's a very tricky one. These are some good brands here.
The answer is Lego.
That is good to see. Lego was certainly contributed a lot to their sales when I was growing up.
There is
still on top.
There's 2 questions left. With a Mapp, you can personalize communications based on the age or development of your child. How good a job did Aria do at conveying this message?
Yeah. If anyone's not too sure on this one, please make sure you leave that on the feedback form that we didn't convey this strongly enough through the webinar today.
Someone got that wrong.
We're having that words with that one person there who's done that.
Oh, it is tough. You can answer this question quickly and correctly. Everything could change. What do 46% of parents believe is the future of marketing?
Now, I have a bias on this one, but they're all pretty solid things to be focusing on here. But there's one that sticks out to me here.
Certainly. One's definitely a game changer. And it is, of course, personalization. Okay, let's see who's top of the podium. First place, Fiona. No, third place, Fiona. Second, and first we have Donuts.
Donuts. Oh no. I guess Donuts, whoever you are, you're gonna have to reach out to us so we know who this is here.
But now you get to spin the wheel and see what the prize is. Over to you, Aria.
I've already started spinning the wheel, and the winning prize here is a Jamie Oliver Cookery School voucher here for Donuts.
Congratulations, Donuts. Hopefully everyone enjoyed today's webinar and quiz. Like I say, everyone will be following up today with some of the content and a feedback form, which will be great. We'll also send you the link to our webinar with Adichie that's coming up. And keep a lookout for more of these. We try and run these short, snappy webinars on a regular basis, covering various topics, and we're always looking for feedback on what those topics should potentially be. So please feel free to reach out and make some suggestions. But thanks for everyone for joining. Look forward to catching up with some of you soon. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Aria.